Good morning and welcome to I Hate Music. Hey, Nick, how's it going?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Today is the 30th anniversary of Euronymous being murdered.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's why we introed with a little bit of pagan fears there.
That was very appropriate.
Yeah.
You slipped that one in. I didn't even realize.
I did, yeah.
Nice.
I don't think it has anything to do with our topic, really.
No.
But, you know.
30 years, dude.
30 years. Yeah. One of my favorite black metal albums, that one.
90, so that was 93?
93, yeah.
Jesus, I remember so vividly, 92, 93, those were very formative years, you know? It's funny that that's 30 years now.
Well, I just found out that my school had my 30th anniversary.
Oh, you graduated in 93.
Yeah,
I graduated in 94, so a little bit behind. But
yeah,
damn, so you didn't go up.
I didn't go. No. No. I mean, if I talked to anybody that I went to school with, like maybe, but
yeah, exactly.
I talked to one person.
I feel like I kept in touch, like with who I wanted to keep in touch with mostly, but
sure.
It would be super awkward. I wasn't like a popular kid or anything.
No,
so.
No. I was, man. I was the quarterback.
I told my daughter all the time, oh, I was too cool to go to prom, but really I was just a dork and kind of shy.
I went to prom, but it was just...
You did?
I
Holy
did.
shit.
Yeah. I went with my friends. And
I
didn't have a date. Well, I had a date, but it wasn't a date.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
And,
I mean, I think that's the modern way. Like, kids are just going to school with their... going to prom with their friends from school. They're not just like...
Exactly.
Like a traditional thing.
I think that's probably better. I don't know.
Nice.
What the hell do I know?
You're so progressive.
I really am. So today we're going to talk about climate change. Kind of appropriate. It's
middle summer.
Hot. Yeah. It's almost August.
And Lahaina and Maui just kind of burned to the ground, which is insane.
That is insane. I was there actually 31 years ago.
Wow. 1992.
Yeah.
We could do a whole podcast about 1992.
And 3. Probably.
And 3. Yeah. But very good years.
Very good years.
For music, for sure.
But yeah, climate change. It's hot.
It's hot.
It's hot. Summer.
Yep.
There's climate change everywhere.
Yep. But they've been, but metal bands have been warning us about this.
They have
for a long time.
Yes, I feel like I've heard about this once or twice. Yeah. I think first, before we get into this, though, we should look at listener email.
Okay, cool. Is that a thing?
It is a thing.
Nice.
We got after our last episode, we got quite a few comments on Instagram and stuff. I'm not going to go over that stuff.
No,
just email.
Okay.
So we got.
What's the stats on that? Or like you get one email for every 1,000 listeners. Like there's probably like theories about that. You know.
Before the comeback, I got quite a bit of email. Not quite a bit. I would say 2 or 3 a month, maybe, which I feel like is pretty good.
Yeah.
This time I just got one email.
Nice.
Lots of comments, one email.
Nice.
So I guess I can say this guy's name.
Okay.
Fuck it, I don't care. This is from Kyle Mitchell. And he said, my candidate for excellent reunion is At the Gates. All the newer records are great.
Nice.
I can't speak for that. I don't know.
I dabbled a little bit here and there, but I have not been paying attention. I know that was a very we were all looking forward to that happening.
Yeah. I don't think I've
they
ever
left
listened
at
to
their
the
peak,
records.
basically, and then the Haunted came out and all that stuff.
Right.
But man.
Yeah, I never paid attention to it. Saw them once. It was great.
Yeah. No, they're great.
Like post-reunion.
And historically, they weren't bringing anything new to the table. I think at the time, maybe it was just super catchy, super polished.
Yeah,
just like they brought the intensity, and their vocalist was amazing, of course. But.
Yeah, I mean, I was always super into The Red in the Sky Is Ours.
Yeah.
And then Slaughter the Soul was very much a different record.
It was.
But also really fantastic.
Yep. But before the reunion, I think that was the last thing they did. So
I believe so. Yeah.
That's why people were really excited about that one.
Yeah. I guess I should check out the newer ones, but I haven't.
Cool.
Our friend Kyle also says, as for bands with no original members, Opeth actually is one. Mikhail is not an original member.
Oh, interesting. What?
I don't know this. Is this true?
I don't know.
But somebody on our Instagram said that too.
Interesting. So what was first before Morning Rise? Orchid, right?
Orchid.
Yeah. So they were some demo band before that, and we don't know about it.
I've never heard this before.
Yeah, that's cool. I'll have to check that out.
I'm going to trust Kyle on this one.
I wonder if there's a demo out there somewhere you could listen to.
I don't know.
Opeth was way better before Mikhail, dude.
I prefer the demos. and the rehearsals.
Nice.
I had no idea. So, nice. Thanks, Kyle. That's
thank you, Kyle.
Interesting.
Really
cool.
cool.
I hope you're not lying to us. But,
no kidding.
Yeah. So if anybody has any questions, opinions, anything like that, go ahead and email us at hate.pod.music@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Also go to earthandsound.org for I Hate Music merch. I just sold a hoodie to some dude in Australia after the comeback episode.
Nice.
So, yeah.
So the comeback is influencing merchandise sales in Australia.
I sold a hoodie in Australia. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, we're almost out of that Ramones design, and then I'm going to make a new one after that.
Cool.
So,
Nice.
So buy that shit so I can make the new one.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so, Nick, let's talk about climate change.
Sure, man. I mean, Nuclear Assault was talking about it way before I was aware of the world.
Right.
When we were growing up, the Challenger was going up. We didn't really think about the environment. I don't think in a really sad way.
I definitely didn't in the 80s and 90s.
No. Dude, I remember throwing a Coke can out the window and just crazy shit. You know, it's late 80s or whatever in California. Just no recycling. Everything goes in one bin.
It's just out of sight, out of mind.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then moving up to Oregon, it was a little different, 94 for sure. But the extreme that we recycle now is, hopefully that's a benefit. But also there's some cynical sides of that.
Sure.
Which is a lot of that shit's not even being recycled.
Well, it was like 5 years ago it came out in Montana that the dudes that are picking up the recycling were just dumping it somewhere.
Oh my God.
Like for years and years. So.
Yeah. So it's inspirational recycling or something.
Right.
I think they call it that.
Yeah. But also that shouldn't dissuade you from doing it.
Of course not. Of course not. No. It shouldn't at all. And, we hope that our batteries and all these things are being recycled, but that's a separate topic.
Right. I Hate Music does not condone
throwing all your shit in the ground and not recycling. Yeah.
If you don't like a record, just throw it in the ocean.
It is interesting leaving Portland, though. A lot of places are behind in that way.
Oh, for sure.
You know?
You go out to the Midwest and it's like it's a bit behind. Or
yeah. I think it was even Hawaii, dude. It was like
really,
yeah. I was like, it's so weird a place like that.
I know.
I think would really hardcore recycle, but it didn't seem like they were really separating things out. It was weird.
They just throw it all into a volcano and let it all melt or something.
Set you up for that, dude. Nice.
Yeah, you did. You really did. I appreciate that. Nuclear Assault. I mean, they were one of the first ones that I am familiar with as far as metal bands.
For sure.
I think a lot of that harkens back to the punk days. You
yeah.
know?
Oh, yeah. Right. Yeah.
I
mean, they were a good mixture of those two scenes or whatever. So maybe that their influences came from some of that.
I think so. I mean, as far as environmental issues in music, I was first aware more with punk than with metal.
Yeah, that's true.
But Nuclear Assault was definitely one of the first metal bands I was
What is it
aware
about punk that's more taking a stand against things, than metal has been traditionally? Maybe
more socially aware.
Yeah, what is that all about?
Yeah, I think I'm not sure where that came from necessarily.
Yeah.
I know that reggae and punk had a huge crossover, and that's always been important with reggae too.
Yeah.
So maybe that's an influence there. I'm not really sure.
I really thought about it, but Testament was doing a little bit as well on the New Order.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Metallica even picked it up a little bit with Blackened and all that. That was '88 though. So
yeah.
I don't know. For sure, the punk scene was doing it a lot earlier.
Do you feel like sometimes I hear people say things like politics and music turns them off?
I don't think that. It kind of made me more aware as a kid.
Yeah.
Like, they're not just singing about death and coming out of the coffin or,
right.
It's just fucking a dead, something like some of the Slayer lyrics or something. Right. It was actually like, this is intelligent writing and trying to make a bigger cause for a bigger cause. And I think that's really awesome.
Yeah.
I'm not against that at all. There's some bands that only do it, like Cattle Decapitation or something that I'm not sure about, really. I think they do that, or...
I mean...
like newer bands, that's like their whole thing, or Earth Crisis or something like that. Yeah.
I think about Earth Crisis.
Yeah.
It's never turned me off, but I know some people that are like, keep your politics out of my music. And
I see that point of view, I guess, in some ways. They just want to have a release of energy instead of thinking about the world when they want to have fun.
It's escapism,
exactly,
I guess.
Escapism,
but
that's it.
I don't know. I think it doesn't lessen it for me.
No, me either. Me either. And I
sometimes it heightens it.
Yeah, exactly. And I think like Metallica singing about Blackened and all that was good for me when I was a kid. That made me think, oh, he wasn't talking about his mother. He was talking about Mother Earth. You know, it's like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know.
yeah, that's true. Do you think that bands who sing about political issues or climate change, do you think they can actually like make a difference in the public consciousness?
Sure.
Yeah.
Especially Metallica, they can.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is there any like data that shows that there has been some change? I think they're probably singing at the same time that a lot of people are starting to think about these things, you know.
Yeah, I think that's true.
They probably coincide with that. And so that means in the 90s, early 2000s, for sure, there's probably a whole scene of like environmental metal or environmental hardcore or something that we're not aware of, because there's you know, that was on the conscience of the zeitgeist at the time. You know, everybody was thinking about it and talking about it. So I wonder if I didn't do enough research for this podcast, but we're kind of freestyling. But I wonder if that really was a thing. It probably was. There's bands that just.
I mean, I would assume so.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's always been there, you know. But yeah, I think you must be right. There must be. I mean, definitely hardcore. There's got to be hardcore bands that are. Yep.
Pretty cool, because I'm thinking of bands like D.R.I. and stuff who did come from the punk scene. That's where it started with the metal, and it crossed over into the metal. Yeah, it's really cool. Especially with Definition, there was an album they put out like 92. There's a bunch of songs on that album about how we're destroying the world. And
Definition?
Yeah. It was way after. It was like after, Thrash Zone and all these things, you know.
Oh, a D.R.I. record.
Yeah, D.R.I. record. Okay, yeah. It was like early 90s, but it's pretty cool. That's cool they were doing that, and I think all of that came from the beginnings. The origins came from the punk scene for sure. Yeah.
I mean, and thrash, it's always, a lot of thrash bands are.
Yeah. Well, Set the World Afire was another song by Megadeth that was about that. So, yeah, I think those guys were influenced by the punk scene too.
Yeah, I mean,
now that I think about it,
I think it all goes
comes
back
from that.
But I mean, at its core, I feel like it's all protest music, one kind or another, which again goes back to reggae music, which goes back to like before that. Like I'm not a music historian here by any means.
No, but yeah, let's see. I mean, it's rare that like pop culture. I think for a band to become really popular, for a music to become really popular, you do have to separate politics from, because a band's not going to hit the big time.
No, they're not.
But they did a little bit in the late 60s with some of those protests.
That was a different time.
It was a different time.
Yeah.
But, let's get together. I don't know. There's just like the Bob Marley songs and stuff were just all about like, I don't know. They were protest songs, but done in such a way that became palpable for people to listen to. Yeah. Really strange. And that's probably an art that really doesn't get duplicated very, very often.
I don't think so. I think if you are going to sing about those issues, especially now, it's so polarizing that you're going to alienate a large part of your audience.
Yep.
Maybe not so much back in the day, but I feel like now especially.
I'm thinking about like a lot of the female bands that happened in the 90s, like with the Lilith Fair stuff, and I think they were all talking about this stuff, I
think so, yeah.
And they were pretty popular.
Yeah.
I don't know, Indigo Girls, and I don't know who was headlining. Sarah McLachlan.
Yeah.
Was Sinead on that? I don't know. R.I.P.
Yeah, shit. I love Sinead.
Yeah,
man.
I don't know if she played Lilith Fair, but
I don't know either. But man, Light on the Cobra, that's
nice.
That's some badass shit.
Yeah, she was cool. But yeah. Climate change and music. I do think there's a place for it, though, and maybe you have to really be somebody that is seeking that kind of music out to find it, rather than it being in the forefront. Luckily, we listened to metal, and we were kind of absorbing these ideas because these guys were all influenced by punk, evidently. But I don't know. I don't think in music it's really there unless you're seeking it out.
Right. So. Yeah, I can see that. And I think like what you're saying, like for me, it was more like I'm into this, and then like, hey, well, like what are they talking about?
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
yeah.
Okay. Like
it's not just about death and gore.
Yeah, handle with care.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Great album.
It is. Speaking of which, that's the song I want to play.
Do it.
I want to play a song off of Handle with Care.
Please.
This is Nuclear Assault's. What is it? They're fucking... Oh, man, they have some EPs in there, so it's fucking me up.
Yeah, I'm not sure what order it goes now.
Ooh.
Sorry.
I'm not either, but I would say this was probably 90...
Oh, I would say
early
89.
90s.
Yeah,
89
or 90.
Okay.
Just a guess. Just a guess.
I'll look it up while it's playing.
Yeah, exactly.
Here is Nuclear Assault with Critical Mass.
Wow. Nice, dude.
Love that band so much.
So good.
Yeah, I first discovered Nuclear Assault, I want to say early 90s.
Yeah.
90, 91, maybe 92. Definitely not later than 92. No. And I discovered Survive.
Nice.
I don't remember how I discovered it.
Yeah.
But I discovered that. I found it on cassette. And I distinctly remember my family taking me to Hebgen Lake, which is like an hour from Bozeman. And it's this gorgeous lake, and we're like playing in the water, and I had my little Walkman with me, and it was like my first listen to this cassette. And at that time, I was into death metal heavily. Like extreme music wasn't unusual for me at all.
Yeah.
But there's something about the way that they delivered that. It's not death metal.
Yeah.
It's definitely thrash.
Sure.
But it's so much noisier than like Anthrax or Violence.
Yeah, exactly.
And it blew my mind. I was like, this is the heaviest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Amazing.
Now I don't feel that way, but they do have like a certain sound that is just
it's
so
raw.
much more aggressive and raw.
It's totally raw. Yeah, and I feel like they got lumped in with some of those not the lesser popular thrash bands like Dark Angel and stuff like that. They got kind of dismissed a little bit.
They did, but they're so unique. And John
unique.
Connolly's vocals, like,
so good.
I love them. They're so different.
You hear a lot of the newer bands like impersonating that, basically. Like that's almost become the definition of a thrash voice.
You're right.
In some ways.
Or like Sean Killian from Violence too. It's just like so expressive and just different. Yeah. I love that band so
great.
Much.
I think I discovered them Handle with Care when it came out. Just remembering that the album, way it looked, and
with the the globe on it,
the
stamp
like,
on there.
What the hell is
Handle
this?
with Care.
Yeah, I don't think I really knew about him before that, but Dan Lilker was in the band.
Yes,
right? Even at that point, I think he was.
I think he's always
if he's always been in the band, but so I think him being an SOD and all these things probably introduced a lot of people to on the side to Nuclear Assault, which is kind of cool.
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah, no, I've always one of my favorite thrash bands. I recently scored a copy of Survive on vinyl. One of my holy grails.
Really? Original pressing?
Yeah. Oh my God. I paid good money for it. It wasn't that bad. It was like $50 at Crossroads, but still, it was worth it to me.
Very good. Nice.
Yeah. Great record.
In the break, I was reading about metalheads, how they embrace these kind of lyrical themes that are semi-taboo in pop culture.
Right.
Because of just the extreme music and them used to being outcasts themselves or whatever. So,
I mean, that makes sense, right?
It does, And this article in particular said it makes them more, more aware of the world and more intellectual. I believe that. I
believe that too. You're wearing glasses right now.
Yeah, exactly. Well, dude, I'm old now. But.
Oh no, it's because you're smart.
That's right.
You're a pilot, man. You're super smart.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I can't argue with that.
No,
that checks out.
Pretty cool, and I think why does it just kind of like seem to be happening in thrash? I don't know if it's happening in death metal or black metal. But the Norwegian stuff kind of for sure.
But like in a different way, And I think the Swedish stuff too. But it's like it's in a different way. But like death metal, like, is there like socially conscious, socially aware? Well, cattle decapitation, right?
Must be. We're not. I don't think either of us are that fluent.
I'm not fluent. I played with them once in Portugal.
Sweet.
And like they smell bad and have dreads. So
they're definitely aware of the world.
Definitely aware of the world. They were playing hacky sack. No, they weren't. They weren't.
Oh my God. I was telling my daughter she's going to college soon. Like, you're going to have to learn how to play hacky sack.
I know.
She knew what the hell I was talking about.
Oh, dude, at Lunasa last weekend, I started a fake hacky sack. I didn't have one.
I can keep that one up forever.
Yeah, it was the guys from Thief and Jory and I were just like doing the hacky sack. It was really fun.
That's awesome.
I forgot what I was going to say. Yeah.
Sorry.
Something about... death metal. Right. I mean, death metal is not as known for those things, right?
That's interesting. I'm off the top of my head. I can't even think of.
But like grindcore has always been a little bit more.
It's that punk influence,
like Napalm Death.
Yeah,
Napalm Death
for sure.
I mean,
dude. Of course they do. Yeah, of course they do. Okay.
But I'm thinking like American death metal stuff, like exactly. Florida stuff. Yeah. Like Death isn't singing about that.
I mean, they're all
Obituary did.
Like what?
World Demise.
Oh right, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
I'm surprised
lyrically what those lyrics are, so that we can kind of see if they're pointed at that.
I can say that they are because I'm reading the Obituary book and they talk about World Demise.
Okay, cool. So, and the cover has like a bunch of pollutants going out into the air from factories and stuff. Oh,
the Tardy brothers would drive by these, like, those towers that are on the cover often and, like, be really concerned about
what's happening there.
Yeah. So I guess there is some. It's just maybe not as prevalent as it is in thrash and things like that.
And I think, working class music tends to be, people being around chemicals, people that are being around the factories and stuff like that. And so that's more of a concern for them because they're probably seeing rises in cancer and all these things,
Yeah.
That definitely happened in Albany. That's where Victims is from.
Oh yeah,
but there is a rise in cancer rates in these areas where there was a huge paper mill there for a long time.
Yeah,
and it closed down recently and stuff because I don't know where they do it now. But
But
if you lived in the vicinity of these mills and stuff, then it's terrible. So I'm sure a lot of bands had family members that are like seeing effects of this stuff and writing about it. Hopefully, You saved it though, because I was right about to say something about Florida. It's like, oh, they're from Florida. They don't know shit, you know.
I mean, Obituary. I can't think of
Nocturnus.
Nocturnus.
They were thinking about the future in
Climate Controller.
Climate Controller.
Yeah,
so good.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I just don't think death metal does it quite as much.
No.
Or maybe it's not as like overt.
Maybe, yeah, and maybe because they're growling, we don't hear exactly what they're saying all the time too.
Well, what about well, we know the Metallica flirted with a little bit.
Yep.
Megadeth did it a little bit. Did Anthrax ever do it?
I'm sure. Maybe they're just too busy reading Stephen King or something.
I know. I think they're too busy reading Stephen King.
Persistence of Time.
It seems like they would have something,
a lot about
though.
family and stuff.
Like Persistence of Time would be the perfect vehicle for a climate change song, I would think.
Yeah, it would. Because it was a dark record.
I can't think of one, though.
Nope, me either. Not off the top of my head.
Slayer?
South of Heaven? No. No, I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I don't think so. Nothing off the top of my head on that. Anyway. We should play my song, D.R.I.
D.R.I. All right.
So this is off that album Definition I was talking about, and the song's called Acid Rain. It is actually the song they made the music video for. So
I remember this video.
Yeah, it was cool.
I
don't recall the video. We should kind of watch it maybe at some point here, just to see if they were using that kind of imagery or not.
If I remember correctly, they're playing in a warehouse.
Okay.
And there is like acid rain coming down outside the warehouse, and people are like covering themselves and stuff. But it's been a long time.
Yeah, exactly. Good memory.
Yeah, but I think so. So this was we found out Nuclear Assault Handled with Care was 89.
Yes, very good.
What?
This was like 92.
92? That seems about right.
I'd say.
Okay. Here's D.R.I. with Acid Rain.
So good.
That was great.
Here's some lyrics.
That in so long.
Will our children look back with hatred or despair at a generation of idiots who just didn't care? This was written in 1992 about the fossil fuel fumes and the aerosol sprays that put holes in the ozone and let in the rays.
Yeah.
Damn
yeah.
it.
Well, okay, so they mentioned aerosol, right?
Yeah, that was a big deal.
So, yeah, aerosol used to be such a big deal back then.
It was in everything, dude.
Yeah.
I think it's been eradicated, basically.
I think it has. Like, it's not in Cheese Whiz anymore. Hairspray, right? It's all like...
It was all the Cheese Whiz fumes,
yeah.
dude.
Well, no, but
yeah,
you
but
do know
everything.
you do know that aerosol is the reason that guar is here.
Oh, no. Is that... So we created guar?
All the hair metal bands, they melted the ozone layer, warmed up Antarctica.
I think I did know that.
And
That's
guar
amazing.
came out of the
That's
ice
amazing.
of Antarctica.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so, I mean, there is one good thing about
So
all
thank
this,
you,
know,
aerosol, for the creation of guar.
for scumdogs.
The only story I had about that song was it has nothing to do with climate change, but but saw D.R.I. I just got my driver's license in 1992. Yeah, so it was right after this album got put out, and I was like designated driver for all my friends because I was the first one to get my license.
Yeah.
And we drove it was probably like to some suburban town, Corona, I think it was, in Southern California, like an hour away from where I lived, to go see D.R.I. Saw D.R.I. It was an amazing show. It was very low, hardly anybody there or anything.
Yeah.
Left the venue so excited, dude, so stoked. Wasn't drinking or anything. Got in the car. Was just partying, listening to the music.
Right, yeah,
just so excited. I got pulled over because the guy thought I was drunk. The cop thought I was drunk.
Because you're so excited?
Yeah. I was like swimming all over the road and shit. And so it was really funny. I just got pulled over and he was like, "You guys been drinking?" I was like, "No, we're just listening to music."
Oh my God.
And he let us go, but it's kind of funny.
That happened to me with Beneath the Remains. I bought it on cassette, like right after it came out, put it in my car, and my car was covered with Suicidal Tendencies bumper stickers.
Nice, dude, nice.
And I went like 45 in a school zone, just like blasting Inner Self. Got pulled over, and the guy harassed me about my bumper stickers,
oh
and
my
like
God.
he thought I was like some like wasted
gangbanger
youth
or something.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
Jesus.
I was like 16,
Yeah,
you know.
right.
I was just feeling the music, man.
Of course.
Inner Self, dude.
It's the best time to get pulled over, when you're like just jamming out, because there's nothing to be guilty of.
I did nothing wrong, but just loved life.
Exactly.
You know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Good stuff, man.
Yeah.
Anyway, with all
aerosol.
that warning from D.R.I. and these other bands, nothing changed, dude.
I mean, I think little things have changed, but
Well, yeah, recycling, no aerosol.
yeah. But I think
Has
that
it slowed it down enough? Probably not, but
I think people feel like they can't really do anything.
yeah,
You know,
I feel helpless about it.
drop in a bucket. You know.
Yeah, it's mainly the corporations and these,
Right.
the politicians that need to make the change rather than us recycling my salad container, you
Right.
know,
Yeah.
which makes me feel good, but it probably doesn't do shit in the end.
Yeah.
I hate to be cynical about it because it's an important thing.
It is important, but I don't know.
Yep.
Well, yeah, D.R.I. I saw them 2 nights in a row in like 93 or 94. Saw them once at Milwaukee Metal Fest, and then I saw them the next night in Minneapolis.
Nice.
And a stage diver landed on me,
Oh my God.
and his stomach landed right on my head. Didn't knock me out, but knocked me flat on the ground. It hurt like a bitch.
I bet,
But,
dude.
Yeah,
That's the worst.
it would kill me now, I think.
Oh,
But
God.
back then,
You
I
would
was
have broke your back
18
now
or-
up
yeah,
here.
yeah.
We were malleable and flexible at that
Yeah,
time.
I think my spine would have like ejected out of my butt or something.
I saw the live at Budokan SOD.
Yeah,
And
dude,
Billy jumped off like
Yeah.
a massive stack.
Yeah.
It was like 20 feet in the air
yeah,
at least.
Yeah,
That fucking guy.
dude, and he's just pounding that guy with the microphone too. Just,
So insane, dude.
yeah.
But he survived. He survived.
Well, he's just like fueled with like piss and vinegar, right?
I think he always has been.
And hatred.
I don't think he's changed at all. The
No.
world around him has changed, and it's made him like this Republican Trumper dude. But
Right.
he's always
been
that
like
way.
that. Yeah.
Isn't that interesting? Like, so how has the culture changed? And we could do a whole episode about this,
Yeah.
about SOD and
Right.
what those lyrics mean
Well, I mean,
now.
that's-
And they were
that's-
tongue in cheek at the time.
It's
but-
kind of a climate change type of thing too. Like the climate changed around
Totally.
that record and that band, and I think for good reason, and it should change.
Of course.
But now that record is like this demonized.
Yeah, totally.
And again, probably for good reason. But
I mean, wasn't it done in jest in a lot of ways? And just like Scott Ian thought of this character in his head that was the angriest, most piss and vinegar motherfucker, and I think Billy Milano almost took on that role,
right?
Like in Sergeant D or whatever. Yeah, that's insane, dude.
Yeah.
I'm MOD's like that too, dude.
MOD, man, MOD's worse.
Yeah, MOD's worse. MOD is worse.
MOD is worse.
MOD is worse.
AIDS.
Yeah, we won't.
It's just it's just awful. But
Jesus, man, it's messed
I've
up.
never heard anybody involved with SOD make any kind of statement about that.
No. Yeah, I wonder. It's not like the like Eddie Murphy. He apologized for all the raw and the delirious stuff that he was saying on those things. Yeah. He apologized for that in the 90s.
Yeah, I'm just curious, like. What does Scott Ian think of that now?
I think he would. I have no idea, but I think he would say, like, I created that character in jest, and it was a joke at the time, and I don't know. Would he just blame it on the times? Times were different.
Yeah, but it was a different time. Should I text him? Here,
let's get him on the show.
Yeah,
we should have.
Let's get him on the horn. No, I tried to get Glenn Evans from Nuclear Assault.
That's amazing.
I thought it'd be cool to talk to him for a second, but he said he was super busy.
That's fine.
So it's just a way to blow me off. That's fine. But
Okay, but the topic of climate change in metal, that's really interesting because that's happened a lot.
Yes,
where grunge is a big one, of course.
Of course.
The effects that had on all these bands. It's really interesting how that happened. And black metal coming along. Mm-hmm. Even to some respects, death metal with influencing a band like Testament or something.
Yeah. Like them, like Chuck Billy growling.
Yeah. It's getting James Murphy on their record.
Yeah.
You know? It's like, what the hell's going on?
That's so weird.
Steve DiGiorgio.
Yeah.
Coming from the death metal world.
Right.
You know?
I think the whole grunge thing was maybe one of the most interesting ones because
for sure.
I mean, for lack of a better term, it just watered down these bands so much. They just took this left turn.
Yep.
Examples off the top of my head, Pyogenesis.
Nice.
Paradise Lost.
Nice.
Although Paradise Lost, it felt like maybe it was more of like a Metallica thing.
Yeah,
but I think Metallica kind of did that too around that same time. They were trying to be more accessible.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, they were the leaders possibly of all this because all those thrash bands changed. I mean, in some respects, even Slayer with Divine Intervention. I don't know. Especially Testament with the Ritual. I mean, they were following the lead of Metallica, seeing how much money was being made.
Yeah.
And maybe just noticing what was happening. Anthrax is great with, getting rid of Joey Belladonna.
Yeah.
Let's get John Bush in here. He did sound, he's still metal music, but it sounded more.
That Sound of White Noise is kind of an alternative record.
Yeah, it's good in hindsight, and I was so pissed at the time.
I'm
not listening to this.
I haven't listened to it since back in the day.
Yeah, I was like anti-Bush era, that kind of stuff. But
I feel like a lot of the thrash bands did it. Nuclear Assault did it with Something Wicked.
Yeah, that's right, dude. Overkill did it with I Hear Black. That's going to be my choice of. Suicidal did it, dude.
Suicidal did it?
Art of Rebellion.
That's right.
Man, it was really weird. Captain Stupid, remember that song? It was just really strange.
Yes.
Like, what's going
I
on,
forgot. Yeah.
And then they had that. Then they had the next one, Suicidal for Life, and they fucking went hardcore back.
Right.
Like they know the fans were pissed off about this or something.
Yeah.
Suicidal for Life was so different.
Well, Sepultura. I mean, KSID, Roots, more so.
Yeah.
But I feel like around that same time, a little bit later than the whole alternative grunge thing, was the boom of nu metal.
Yeah.
And exactly. I feel like that's what was influencing like Sepultura.
Yeah.
Bands like that.
For sure. They may have been kind of the leaders of that, and then all these other bands took it over.
Yeah.
Especially with Roots. I mean, that was so popular.
Yeah.
It was like, No Weather was number one, but I don't know, Pantera as well. Like these bands were just like in the charts and stuff,
right?
And they were heavy, but they were different than the heavy before that, and that's okay. Maybe that's just part of the evolution. They were certainly taking influence from Nirvana and Soundgarden and all these things, but
it was like they're trying to remain relevant. They've been around for a long time, trying to remain relevant. Probably, hey, if we can sell some more records.
Yep. Didn't that open the doors though for a lot of bands like I don't know, like weird bands like Galactic Cowboys and King's X or something, like who were a perfect mixture of those two things.
Yes. Yeah, for sure.
It opened the door for these guys.
Yeah. I think so.
I think those bands have kind of faded to obscurity, but
I think King's X is still touring, I think.
Maybe.
I
That's
think.
cool if they were.
I mean, they've been around for fucking ever.
Yeah.
You know, Jesus.
Yeah. But then, I don't know. Yeah, it's really interesting. Then there was the we're going to talk about that as well, I think. But the death metal bands that signed to major labels. And
Yes.
these major labels were freaking out. Like, how do we capture the youth or whatever?
Yeah.
I don't know why they were doing this, but...
The whole Columbia thing, Earache. Yeah, that's really interesting.
Was that a partnership of Earache, or was it separate from that? You know, I don't remember.
I mean, it was Earache bands getting signed to Columbia, I believe, just in the States.
Oh, I see.
I think. I could be wrong, but I think that's the case.
Yeah, that's cool.
Which is... I mean, it kind of made sense because it was like... I mean, death metal was really big back then.
Yeah.
But there was also at the same time that bands were changing a lot, possibly due to grunge alternative, like Entombed with Wolverine Blues.
Yep.
You know?
KSAD, yep.
I mean, Wolverine Blues... In retrospect, it's still a heavy-ass record.
It is.
It's just not...
Yeah, in preparation for this, I was reviewing some of those, what I considered kind of grungy albums.
Yeah.
Actually pretty good, you know. They're still heavy. I don't know what it was, though. It was going from a classic album, Overkill, I can think of right off the top of my head. Going from a classic album like Horoscope, every song's a thrasher, a banger. It's amazing. It's intricate. It's progressive. A la Persistence of Time. It's just like these really long, cool, intricate songs. And then they went really short songs, catchy as possible.
Yeah.
And I think that was kind of the grunge influence, you know. Exactly what Anthrax did with Sound of White Noise.
Yeah.
3 or 4 minute songs. You know, they were tired of like the wanking off and the 10-minute songs. You know?
Yeah.
And Metallica, it's exactly what Metallica did.
Right. Did Anthrax go back? Did they revert?
Not until Belladonna came back. Yeah. I mean, they stuck with Bush and they were trying to... I don't think even with his albums that they started putting out in the late 90s, early 2000s. I think he left around 2002 or something, but they were still doing that same style.
How many records did they do with Bush?
4 or something.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
And at one time they were going to do a tour where they both were playing, which I think is kind of a cool idea.
Yeah, that is a cool idea.
I guess too many egos or something.
Yeah, that'd be kind of weird. I don't know.
I don't know what happened with that, but even in hindsight, the albums after Sound of White Noise are not very good in my opinion, but Sound of White Noise holds up interestingly, you know, as a historical.
Yeah.
You know, I was pissed off when I was a kid, but as an adult, I can look at it differently.
Yeah.
That's important to do.
It is. Sometimes I'll go back and be like, oh, is Wolverine Blues as much shit as I remember?
Yeah.
And no, it's not. It's actually, it's pretty intense. I mean, it's no Left Hand Path or Clandestine. But
that's the thing. They put out these such masterpieces of albums. Sepultura did. It's like, and then KSAD.
Yeah. I mean, it's okay. But
Biotech versus Godzilla. I think that was an environmental song.
You're right.
They were talking a lot about this shit because
yeah.
all the rainforest being burned in Brazil.
Yeah. And guess who wrote the lyrics on that one?
Jello Biafra or something, right?
No.
Oh, okay. Damn.
Catherine Ludwig.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Really?
Yeah.
How did that
I have no idea how that happened, but her
random.
and Gloria were really good friends.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. Actually, I should look that up. I think it's that one, but it's something off of that record.
That's insane.
But I'm pretty sure it's that one.
I thought they did some partnership with Jello at some point.
They did. They did for sure.
Okay, yeah.
But Catherine wrote a song with the lyrics for, I think it's that one.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Really cool. Yeah. Well, anyway.
Yeah. So you wanted to play...
I have an Overkill track. Yeah. So this is post Horoscope, which in my mind is like their probably peak.
Okay.
And then Metallica's influence happened, which was an influence from grunge. You know, why did the Black Album happen? That maybe we could discuss that, but
right.
They were tired. They were tired of those long songs, and they basically were like, "We need to just write produced 3 or 4 minute songs." Maybe it was an attempt to get on MTV finally, and proliferate that world. I'm not sure why they did it, but all these other heavy bands took influence from Metallica.
So, what year do you think this one is?
92.
92.
91, 92.
Okay. So this is Overkill with World of Hurt off the album I Hear Black.
Yep. It's interesting, but it's good in hindsight. Let me just preface that.
Okay.
In my mind.
Okay.
I didn't like it at the time.
I don't think I've ever heard this record.
Nice. It's cool.
Here we go. Yeah, man. I don't know. That's
interesting.
Yeah, it's
Wikipedia is calling this post-thrash.
Post-thrash. Yeah, I've never heard that term before.
That's got to be the influence of the Black Album happening, and then bands like Pantera Helmet, dude. There was a riff in there. I was like, oh, that's very Helmet.
Yeah. Well, Helmet were huge there for like a year or two or something.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and I think these labels, it was their first, this was the only Overkill album to be released on Atlantic Records. And I think that they were attempting to like cash in on the Metallica trend.
Well, okay, so what, this was 92?
93.
93.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess, yeah, because that's Black Album, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And Black Album was fucking huge.
Yeah, exactly. So these labels were just like, okay, we could do this. Let's get these other thrash bands and that can be mellow.
Makes sense, man.
They probably pressured them to do that shit.
Yeah. Who else did that? Did anybody else?
Testament, dude. The Ritual.
Testament?
I think they were also on Atlantic.
You think so?
Yeah, dude. That was a soft... It's basically soft rock, almost.
Right.
That album.
Oh, that's so crazy.
Anthrax. I mean, Sound of White Noise.
Yeah.
I mean, these albums were soft in comparison.
Right.
So,
yeah. Weird. So, yeah.
Really weird.
But, I mean, that's the same thing with the whole Earache Columbia thing, too. I mean, like, Morbid Angel didn't, like, lessen their sound or anything.
No.
But, like, a lot of people, like, bitched about Carcass.
Yeah,
Heartwork being,
for sure. Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's still a pretty vicious album.
Yeah,
but,
yeah. I guess in comparison to like a lot of the blast beats, a lot of those were missing more melodies. I don't know, something changed.
Yeah,
I liked it. Production was so much better.
Heartwork is amazing.
Yeah,
I love Heartwork,
of course.
But dude, the Cathedral record though, Ethereal Mirror.
Ethereal Mirror. Yeah,
I mean, I'm sure that didn't sell hardly at all. Like,
no, I can't imagine.
That's fucking weird ass record.
Yeah, very.
But I guess my point is the Earache Columbia bands. It didn't seem like any of them were like, oh, let's try to cash in. They changed at that same time, but not in a commercial way.
Is it the influence of the label saying, okay, this... No, probably not. It was probably just like the bands were evolving. This is what they thought was a natural evolution.
Yeah, I mean, Covenant is not a neutered Morbid Angel record by any means.
That's true. Production's much better. Everything sounds better on that.
Vicious songs.
Yeah. Yeah, it was interesting what was happening for sure.
Yeah.
And looking back, I think that, you know, it kind of had to happen this way because all this popular music that was taking over at the time, there wasn't room for metal, and I don't know, there needed to be like a push back to the underground almost, you know?
Yeah. I think so, because it seems like, you know, the 80s was all about like the glam metal, and the hair metal, and then death metal came in, and then black metal came in, and then grunge, if you want to call it that, just kind of obliterated all of it.
Yeah, for sure.
And obviously thrash was in there too.
Yep.
And I think these bands were trying to like,
what does this world look like with us being popular or something?
Right.
I don't know. They're not really suitable for that.
It makes me think about these bands who, like you mentioned, that a lot of these bands they went on this new trajectory and then they went back to their roots, like Suicidal.
Oh, all of them did.
Or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, all of them did.
Yeah, and during the break, you mentioned that a lot of them just ignore those records. Like they don't play them live. They don't talk about them. They're just like...
It's almost like 93 to 2003 didn't exist.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, let's just forget about everything we did in that time frame.
Right.
Maiden does it too.
Yeah.
Like there were maybe one or two tracks, like A Brave New World. When Bruce came back, that was 2000. But they definitely don't play anything from the Blaze Bayley era. It was like this kind of... Right. Like, what do we do? You know, like...
Well, like, does Anthrax...
They're embarrassed by it, maybe. I don't know.
Does Anthrax now play any John Bush era songs?
No. Well, I think they're probably worried about offending Joey, too, or something. I don't know.
Maybe, yeah.
It would be cool if they did like we said.
So here's another thing. All those bands around the same time, a little bit later, not those bands, but like death metal bands, they started abandoning the growling.
Yes.
Like My Dying Bride, right?
My Dying Bride's classic, yeah.
My Dying Bride did that, and then they went back and they reverted.
Oh, God, they're better than ever now.
Now?
Well, I mean, not as good. I mean, I haven't... Like, they're really, really good now.
Okay.
I love them as much as I used to.
Okay, I haven't really checked out anything recently.
What was that album, that Percentage album? That was a... Dude, we didn't even think of that one.
That was super 3.4.8% complete.
I liked it at the time, but it was weird as fuck, dude.
Heroin Chic. But do you think it would be that weird in retrospect? Like, if you listen to it now, do you think it would be that weird?
I don't know. Probably not. Like, Chaos AD doesn't seem weird to me anymore. You know?
I think it was weird just for the time. They incorporated electronics and things that you weren't really used to hearing.
Yeah. And you can see they're just pushing the boundaries. They're just trying new things.
Yeah. My Dang Bride is a little bit of a faulty example because they always had clean vocals, but just abandoning the growls completely and then returning to them is kind of funny. Yeah. Or like Opeth, like just abandoning them. You know, and the thing that always bugs me, people are like, oh, they're just maturing. Like,
well, you don't want to stagnate, though, dude. I mean, Cannibal Corpse has put out the same album every year. It's just,
but dude, they're better than ever. Though.
They are.
Their last record's fucking amazing.
They're writing great songs.
Violence Unimagined.
But there's nothing different than it was Too Many Mutilated.
No, I mean, not much. A little bit. Yes. No, I'm with you, but also like, I take issue with one vocal style being like.
As an excuse for evolution, or what do you...
like people are always like, oh, they're just maturing, they're just growing up, so they're getting rid of this one style and they're replacing it with the style that most of the world does.
Yeah, exactly. You know? Those growls were just a phase, dude.
Right, that's what I'm trying to say. yeah. But like Opeth has never gone back.
No, I don't know. And these guys, Aaron from My Dang Bride and Mikhail from Opeth, those are the best growlers in the world, dude.
Oh, Mikhail.
They do it so perfect.
Brave Murder Day is so great.
It's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
These guys are abandoning something that they're so skilled at.
So good. Yeah. Dan Swano, he's one of the best vocalists, period.
Yep.
I love his growls. I love his
both
clean
ways.
vocals.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah. But there was like such a time there where people, like Pyogenesis, they went from like really great melodic death metal to just like outsider left field alternative, and he started singing and it's like pretty rough. It's like Jonas Renske from Catatonia, but like he never got better.
Oh wow.
And like Jonas is like he's a great singer.
He's perfected it kind of. Yeah, it's his style now. It's exactly.
He's very understated, but still he can like he can sing.
Yeah.
Discouraged Ones was pretty rough, but he made it work, you know.
He did. You could tell he was trying that, and he found his voice like right in front of our ears, you know. Really cool. It's like you can hear what was happening. And
it so worked with the music. But now you listen to the Catatonia records now, and he's like he's a vocalist.
Yep,
I mean, he's a good singer.
He found his stride or whatever.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, one other I can think of two other climate changes in metal.
Yes, lots.
Two actually that were huge for me. Mm-hmm. One is when Norway got weird.
Yeah. Okay.
Vedbwenzenda, Dodheimsgard.
Yeah.
When Oliver started going electronic. Shit like that.
Yeah. What was going on over there? That like this?
I don't know.
That's for them.
It's interesting though. Yeah. Like Solefald, like all these bands that are either were around in Norway for a long time and were changing a lot, or were part of the scene and they're forming new bands that are just going in these crazy directions.
There's something about the environment over there. It's just, they're open to experimentation and they're ready to explore. It's really cool.
Yeah,
they're not limited by like the rules we place on ourselves or something.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, it's just so interesting because there's just inordinate amount of artisan bands there that push boundaries consistently and in crazy ass ways.
Yep. Really love that.
Like I couldn't fathom a Vedbwenzenda. You know, I couldn't brainstorm up
of course
and over.
No,
you know,
it
it's
wouldn't
just
happen.
It's so interesting how that happens. But that one was huge for me because I was into death metal and black metal and all that.
Yep.
And then I think I could be wrong, but I think the first one I heard that really made me realize what the scene is turning into is the Vedbwenzenda Written in Waters record.
Nice.
That was like
I'm not that familiar with that.
So strange. But there's also like Solefald linear scaffold.
That one's great.
Like those fucking vocals and the jaw harp and I mean.
Yeah, even like more traditional black metal bands like Borknagar, they do some funny, weird shit, especially with vocally.
Especially vocally, like with Seaman
all over the place, dude.
Or Arcturus. I mean, Arcturus.
Jesus. It's like circus music sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, La Masquerade is like one of the most inventive.
Yeah. What was going on over there?
Yeah.
That's so incredible. That album. It's like out of nowhere. Like, what the hell is it? It's almost like a rock opera or something.
It almost
black
is.
metal opera.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah. But I think the first one within metal that really affected me was, I would say, 92, 93, when things were getting... I mean, death metal was just like blazing hot at that point in time. Yep. Obviously, there's the cynic and the atheist, but that's not what I want to talk about. I want to talk about like Tales from a Thousand Lakes.
Yep.
And Wild Honey.
Yep.
Like those two records, when those came out,
oh God,
it was like out of left field.
Yeah.
I mean,
the keyboards and Amorphous were just like, what the hell is this? How is this possible?
The keyboards,
so beautiful though.
The clean vocals.
Maybe influences from progressive rock from the 70s or something.
Pink Floyd. Yeah. Shit like that. But like coming off of, let me do some brain math here. Coming off of Clouds, which is a weird record, but nothing like Wild Honey.
Yeah.
And then coming off of Curly and Isthmus.
That's right.
I mean, pretty straight ahead death metal record. I love that record.
Sure.
But Tales is...
Yeah, it's really cool.
When I first heard Tales, it's got like that first track that's mostly just like keyboard work, and I'm like, okay, an intro, right?
Yeah, right.
And then it launches into the next song, and I'm like, wait, like this, and I just didn't know what to think.
Yeah, exactly.
And same thing with Wild Honey. I was like, this is so
so unique,
beautiful, but just so different. And now they're like two of my absolute favorite records.
And those are both bands that kept pushing.
They did.
They didn't stop right there.
No.
They could have.
Yeah.
Both of them.
Deeper Kind of Slumber is an even weirder record, and I love that one too.
Yeah, I don't think I listen to that.
Oh, it's so good. The lyrics on that are fucking bizarre.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But it's a gorgeous record.
Nice.
And then of course Elegy.
Yeah. I did catch up that. I don't remember. Yeah, I don't know why I missed Amorphous a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think I was just, such a purist or whatever.
It's it's Curly and Isthmus or nothing.
You were really good at following like the evolution of those bands and noticing like where they were going and why they were going that way. I feel like sometimes I struggled with that, Like, some of those were so out in left field. I was like, not really metal anymore, and that's okay. But I was just
for sure,
wasn't hitting me like it used to,
But I mean, Amorphous and Tiamat, those were two huge bands for me. I wasn't gonna like. Well, I say I wasn't going to let them by the wayside, but I haven't heard a Tiamat record since Deeper Kind of Slumber.
Yeah, so it's been a while.
Which is in the 90s.
Yeah, I'm sure they're still playing. I have no idea. But
Amorphous I followed for quite a while.
Yeah,
but really, they're one of those bands like Impaled Nazarene. Every time I hear a record, I'm like, this is great. But anything after Elegy is just, it's not the same for me.
That must be hard as an artist, to hit your peak so early like that and try to capture it again.
Yeah. But I think they're still touring. They're still selling records.
Good. Hope so.
I still call him the new vocalist, but he's been with them for like over 20 years, I think. But he's great.
Nice.
He's a great vocalist. Nice. He's a great frontman.
That's cool.
Every time I hear a record, I'm like, oh, this is really cool.
Nice.
But,
Yeah.
Yeah. So the last song I wanted to play is from Tales from the Thousand Lakes.
Oh, awesome. Good segue, dude.
Thank you.
Really good.
Thank you. I'm learning.
Yeah.
This is a little song I like to call Black Winter Day.
Nice. So good. That's amazing.
So good. Top 10 metal song for me, for sure.
Oh, it's up there, dude. I mean, that guitar tone and the imagery it kind of creates is beautiful. It feels like being in Finland.
Yeah. The keyboard work there, just...
Dude, that guy shreds.
Yeah, so good. So good. And it's so beautifully crafted.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's not just like a death metal song with keyboards. It's like really, really well integrated. And
it's mixed really well, too.
Yeah,
I don't know, something about how they separate that out.
That whole record is just...
That tone of the keyboard.
Yeah.
It's like is it a Moog or something? Is it
I don't know.
I wonder.
I don't know.
It's not just a Casio.
No, it's like that's the thing. Like with all those like black metal bands in like the 80s and early 90s, it was like Enslaved and shit. It's like these Casio,
that's all
orchestral blast, like all that Holy Record stuff, like Nightfall, like these really bad like orchestral stabs. Like,
it's his charm, you know.
No, I love
it. It dates into whatever year that was.
Like even 95. Septic Flesh had like these really bad keyboard tones.
Oh man, they're in Greece. I don't know. They just don't have high budgets or anything.
No. I mean, I love it. It has like a certain charm to it.
It does,
but it is nice to hear a band with like actually good sounds.
Yes.
Like that.
Oh gosh, amazing.
Man, that fucking record,
dude. Good choice on that one.
Yeah. But yeah.
So what was the climate change happening? What's the reference for our topic here?
Just that around that time, 92, 93, you started seeing more bands like Amorphous, Tiamat, even like Cynic and Atheist, that are just evolving the death metal style.
That's right.
But like really rapidly.
Yes.
Like going from Crillionismus to Black Winter Day. Yeah. Or even Samael. They went from fucking Blood Ritual to Ceremony of Opposites.
Great example.
I mean, just...
It's incredible.
I don't know what that's about.
No.
Like where that comes from.
Yeah, exactly.
But I also think that like some of those bands, it's like, second, third record, like you start to get you got like your thing, you want to do something different.
Change or you stay the same, and they have to push.
Yeah, they have to push on that stuff. Yeah. But it felt like there's so many bands around that time that were bringing in so many other influences. I mean, even Gorguts to a certain degree, even though they're
totally Obscura.
I mean that was later, but
that was like 98 or something.
Like Erosion of Sanity, Atrocities, Longing for Death. These are not like hyper melodic things like Amorphous, but just Human Remains. Bringing in all these other influences and genres.
Longing for Death, so good. I love that album so much. And that's a band that's like, what the hell? This is the same band?
Right. Yeah. Well, and then they went on to like, after that they did like Blute and then all those like 80s pop covers.
Yeah, right.
Like, that's basically all they did after that. It's so weird.
But then their newest one is like reversion back.
Is it really?
Yeah.
How
old
is
that? Death metal. It's pretty good. I forgot the Active God or something it's called. But
really?
It's good. Active God, that's Assimilation.
That's Assimilation.
Yeah. It just came out last year. Shit, I forgot the name.
Really?
It's really good.
Huh. I don't think I even knew about that.
Yeah. It's like just death metal again.
Yeah. That's so interesting. I mean, it's they went through like this gothic period too, and
and that guy's I think the name Alex Kroll.
Alex Kroll.
Yeah, I think he was just like taking his persona and making the band out from that or whatever. But
I had no idea they were still doing anything.
Yeah, I only listened again because they went back to death metal, so I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah.
So I have no idea what they did in between now and Longing for Death.
I tried. They had that record Blute, which was
that one.
Not great, and then after that it was. I think they had like at least a few records that are just 80s covers. Like that's what they did.
Records.
It's so weird.
There's always something there to remind me.
Yeah, shit like that version. Do you remember when Proscriptor from Absu did that Flock of Seagulls cover?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, it was like early 90s, I think.
Oh my god, no. Yeah. Like blackened style though? Black metal style or?
No, kind of like it was his Proscriptor
it was solo or something?
Project, his solo project, and so it's kind of electronic and strange, but like really awkward and weird and
Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway,
cool. That was fun.
Let's move on to a surprise topic.
Okay, yeah. Let's do it.
A surprise topic.
Oh, God. I don't like surprises, I guess. You're making me freaked out here.
It's going to be fun.
Okay.
If you had to go on a first date, what would be the perfect first date concert?
How many chicks are into metal, dude? So this isn't a metal show you're talking about.
It could be anything.
Is this lady into metal? This is you can't just expose.
Are you gatekeeping?
No, but the judgments, this is a whole podcast we could probably do about this, but the judgments around this kind of music are kind of like, oh, you must be, either infantile or aggressive or all these, judgments.
Or satanic.
Satanic,
okay, let me narrow it a little bit.
Okay, this is good.
Okay, so someone that you don't know very well.
Okay.
Also, someone that has no frame of reference for metal whatsoever.
Okay, but has an open mind.
You're not sure because you don't really know.
This could end it, dude.
It could.
It could.
What would, if you could choose any band at any era, what would be the perfect first date?
This is so hard.
Band.
Dude. This is so hard. Do you have one off the top of your head?
Hell no.
I wouldn't go see Hell Yeah, the Vinnie Paul side project. I would not do that.
No. It'd have to be something that's somewhat accessible.
I mean, I could think about Iron Maiden or something. I mean, just for somebody to see that kind of live, I don't think you could go to a Maiden show and walk away not feeling excited about that music.
Right. Like,
so that might be a pretty good one.
I mean, you want something like that's somewhat accessible.
Yes.
So like not Cannibal Corpse or Dark Space or Broken Hope.
Unless they've seen Broken Hope. But what if they've seen Ace Ventura and they were like, oh, that's the band from Ace Ventura.
That could be cool. I doubt
Hammer Smash Face. Oh, I recognize that song from the movie.
I doubt they'd make that connection, but yeah.
Yeah.
Accessible.
Accessible for sure. But then going to a really cool local little show would be kind of fun too.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. Like a Smiths cover band or something. That's probably what I would do.
I mean, but
just play it safe.
But metal.
Okay, metal. Yeah.
Like something like if a coworker too was like, hey, like.
Oh, I've done this before.
Yeah,
I've done this before. And it doesn't always go well.
No. And I don't think it's ever gone well.
I don't think it's ever gone well for me either.
No.
I took my friend Ned, and you know him. I took him to Overkill, and I was trying to introduce him to metal. And I was like, dude, let's go to Overkill. And what I didn't realize was that over the years, in the 2000s, Overkill became kind of a biker band.
Oh, okay.
There were so many dudes there that showed up in their bikes with like leather vests and stuff. It's like, what's going on here? I didn't realize what happened. And so Ned thought it was just some biker band. And I was just like, what the hell? Oh my God. Did not go well.
Well, we took Tyson to Exhorder, and he liked that a lot.
That's right.
Yeah.
So that was good.
He vibed on the energy.
He did. So it's about the energy. I think Overkill had it too, but...
So good energy, good environment.
Yep.
Not overtly violent.
Bunch of beers before. Get her ready for this.
Maybe. Yeah.
Here's some earplugs.
Yeah.
I don't know. In my dating life, I've tended to not keep a secret at all, but just like,
Yeah.
Not worry, knowing that in my whatever relationship I have, it's going to be separate for me.
Right.
That's not going to be something I'm looking for in a woman, in a girl. It's like the couple times I have been on a date with somebody that was like kind of darker or whatever, they were way darker than me, dude.
Right.
And it was like, oh, this person's fucked up. Yeah. Oh, they're probably into the music, but oh man, that's too. It's like, not that I can't handle it, but it's just like I do have some like balance, I try to have that balance. Whatever.
They're like, do you want to go see Graveland and Inquisition? You're like, no.
So I always think whatever relationship I'm in, that's going to be separate. Unfortunately, I mean, there is a fantasy maybe sometimes of like, oh, it would be cool if like the chick I was with was super into my music, but I don't know if that would work.
I don't know.
Because I do need it as a separate thing. And
I mean, it is nice to have something separate, right?
Yeah, totally. Oh, yeah, for sure. 100%.
I just think about these things because I do have people that say things like, oh, I want to go see one of your shows. Or like, hey, I want to go experience like the perfect metal show. Like,
that's a lot of pressure you're putting on me here.
Yeah. And I'm like, well, what is that? There's so much variety. Like, I went and saw Cynic and Atheist a few months ago. And like, in some ways, I think Cynic is a really good middle ground.
Yeah.
Very positive.
Yep.
They're amazing musicians. Yep. It's not super aggressive, but it's still heavy.
Yeah.
I think in some ways that could be good, but also it's like pretty heady stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's not like
it's technical.
Super
it's not maybe not all that groove and catchy.
Yeah.
Something interesting about like seeing bands with mosh pits and stuff is that, and when we're feeling that vibe, I think of it as like this fucking unity and brotherhood.
For sure. Yeah.
A lot of people would look at that and be like, that's fucking violent.
Right.
And I want to get out of here.
Yeah.
You know, but that's not how I feel.
No.
And so and I think the true reality is that it is kind of it's a good energy.
Yeah.
It's not an angry energy, most of the time. Most of the time.
Yeah.
So I don't know if somebody would necessarily feel that, and that might scare them away. So you got to think about a band that moshes too.
Right.
Okay, you're going to be in your seat. We're going to go to the Aladdin Theater. We're going to.
Yeah.
Okay, I really think.
I think the only option is just not do it.
I agree, dude.
Just like,
I agree. Keep it separated.
No, we'll go see Dave Matthews again.
I'll go see what you want to see.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it's not Dave Matthews, dude. I saw Fleetwood Mac cover band the other day. It was fucking awesome, dude.
Really?
Yeah, it was outside at this park in Tigard. It's just like an outdoor show. The lady up there was just like Stevie Nicks. Was like, whoa, this is crazy.
Dude, that leads right into my next question.
Oh, yeah?
Do you prefer indoor or outdoor shows?
Oh, well, nothing better than like a local, dingy fucking like Satyricon style or even Hawthorne Theater. I love those kind of shows.
Yeah.
The best.
Yeah.
I don't know. Outdoors not conducive. Really, you're only going to see a big band outdoors anyway. Usually, at Edgefield, you're sitting on a blanket or something. It's like,
it's good for Weird Al though.
Yeah, well, it's great for a lot of bands. I saw Crowded House and Steely Dan sitting on a blanket. Yeah, it's awesome, but not for metal.
Okay.
I mean, I think like Megadeth and stuff played in the Clark County Amphitheater. And stuff
that's right.
That. Oh, I saw in Hillsborough. Which is kind of strange, but Slayer, Testament, and Megadeth.
Jesus.
It was
really?
the three of those bands. They played out there. It was like 2005 or 6 or something.
Outdoors?
Yep, outdoors.
Wow.
Fucking pit was insane, dude.
Oh, I bet.
It was amazing. And at Vakken's outside.
Vakken, yeah. Well,
that's
like
incredible.
All those giant festivals are outside. Yeah.
Yeah, and seeing a pit like that, you're just like, whoa, it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I still prefer local.
Overall,
local
indoors.
Show, yeah.
So what? So
how about you?
I prefer indoors as well. I do love outdoors. It depends on the environment. Depends on where I am. Depends on the band.
Yeah.
Depends on my mood.
Yeah.
But for the most part, most of my experiences with outdoor concerts are you're in a parking lot. In the sun.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not the most comfortable.
Yeah.
I prefer a dark venue where I can't really see anything and I don't know what I'm stepping on and I don't know who's around me. And,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it adds to the experience for me.
I agree. 100%.
So following up on that, what would be the ideal pre-concert thing to do? Not on a date, just in general.
Yeah. Well, you and I have done this multiple times. Go out to meet at a brewery or something, have a few beers, kind of psych ourselves up, talk about what's going to happen. I don't know. That's what I like to do.
Yeah, me
Not
too.
shoot heroin or anything like that. I mean, I don't know. Some guys hit it pretty hard. You go to live shows sometimes.
Oh, Jesus.
It's like, damn, maybe it's their first night out in a long time or something. But
then they don't even remember the show.
Yeah, exactly.
They're too wasted.
Yeah,
They're
exactly.
like, I went to that show and I don't remember a damn thing.
Oh, but like 3 or 4 beers before seeing Obituary or something. Fucking
dude, it's perfect.
Dude.
Yeah, when we saw Obituary, we saw Carcass. Had a couple beers in us.
Yeah, perfect, dude. Perfect.
Speaking about
Death to All, we saw Death to All.
Death to All. That was like in a span of a month. We saw Death to All, Obituary,
and Carcass.
Yeah.
Amazing.
But 2, 3, 4 beers beforehand.
Perfect. Get a little bit of buzz.
Not too much fun. Not too much fun. Not too much food.
No, that's right.
Just like the right amount.
Yeah.
Good energy. Then, speaking of like the good energy in the pit, like those pits, especially that Carcass one, was really great.
Yeah.
And I brought my wife to Carcass, and
really
that was not our first date. We've been together.
You've been married a long time now.
Yeah, we've been together for like 25 years. She's been to a lot of concerts with me.
Yes.
But she doesn't know Carcass.
Yes.
But she knows how important Carcass are to me.
Very cool.
And she really enjoyed it, and she loved the pit, and she picked up on the energy of the pit, the correct energy, and she saw people falling over and picking each other up and hugging each other, and some dude lost his hat, and then somebody else found it for him, and like all that shit.
And for us, I mean, I'm at the age where I'm not in the pit, but I'm right on the outside of it.
Yeah.
That's where it feels great to me.
Yeah.
And a venue that's all ages, or 21 and over. Okay, so it has to be 21 and over, because when the all ages happens, they separate it out.
And the 21 and over is always in the back.
The back.
So you can't get up close.
Yeah, that's
not great.
So 21 and over show
is ideal.
Is ideal.
Okay, that was. a couple questions in here.
But when I was 18, I fucking hated that.
Right.
So, I mean, I understand.
I know.
I want kids to see this shit too.
Yeah, but
damn, you're taking away my enjoyment here.
Right. Well, that's the thing about the crystals. It splits in the middle, which sucks. But also, like, is it worse than Hawthorne?
The way they have it separated in the middle at Hawthorne.
I mean, because Hawthorne is...
At least you can get kind of near the front if you're 21 and over at Crystal.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, maybe it's more better.
It's more equal.
Although I hate it.
I hate it too.
Much.
But
what's going to happen at your show, man?
They're going to do that, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm going to have to be in the all ages part. That's okay. I'll just drink a few and then go over there.
Right. But I'm saying it's more equal that way. Like,
so at least some of the 21 over could get up front.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. But it's really limited there. It's small.
Limited.
Yeah.
I think it depends on ticket sales because I've seen it.
Oh, really?
Like how many are all ages and how many are 21 and over,
shifts?
and they shift.
Oh, I haven't noticed that. Wow.
Last time I was there, it was like way over to one side, and I was like, "What the fuck?" And then next time I went, it was like way over, and so I mean, I'm just assuming, but
yeah, right. That's cool. Didn't know that.
So, how many bands on a bill in one night is too many?
I'm getting older, and I'm skipping a lot more of the openers.
Yeah, me too.
More than 3 is too many.
Way too many.
Yep. 3 is the max.
3 is max.
Just 1 would be fine.
And now I'm getting into like these noise shows where people are playing 20 minutes.
Oh,
and so I'm like, this is perfect. You have like the headliner. You have Carcass.
Yeah.
And you have a noise person before him.
Yeah.
Perfect night.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't we do that more often?
Well, actually, people are doing that more often.
Good.
But I mean, not Carcass, obviously.
No.
Godflesh kind of did that.
That's right, with that opener. Yeah, it's like a rap duo or something. Yeah, they were really good.
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah, like Sabretooth coming up. Are you going to that at Crystal?
I want to see Uwada bad.
Uwada, Yob, and Ludacra.
And Ludacra. Are you going?
Yeah.
I may or may not go.
8 fucking bands.
Good luck, dude.
I mean,
you call me when there's 3 left.
2 stages.
I see.
That's better, but still.
How are they doing that at the Crystal?
Lola's room and main room.
Yeah, cool.
But 4 on each stage. It's still a lot. Doors are at 3:30.
Jesus, man.
Show at 4:20.
The only time doors should be open at 3:30 if it's over by 6 at the latest.
Exactly.
So I can get to bed.
Okay. Wearing the band's shirt to their show.
I do that for Maiden, but I do not do that for most bands. I don't do that.
You did it for Death.
Oh yeah, I did it for Death.
Okay.
Well, I did it for Death because they're my favorite band.
So it's just like the top echelon bands for you?
The top 2 bands.
The top 2 bands. Okay.
I don't have an obituary shirt, but I should have worn one that day. I would have.
To Candlemas, you wore Solitude Eternus.
That's right.
I mean, that's not
it's adjacent.
It's adjacent.
It's adjacent.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is your opinion on that?
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't do it.
Yeah. I rarely do that.
I like wearing the adjacent shirts if I can.
Exactly. Yeah. Because the people there are there for the band, so it's kind of cool to get the attention for another obscure band you might have on your shirt.
Right. Yeah.
That's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Not that I'm looking for attention from people. I don't really care. I don't.
Yeah. Yeah. But, you're always walking into the Hawthorne. You're like, "Hey, bitches,
look at me,
Nick Wusz." Are there any other general rules of thumbs for shows that you have, like no-nos or like things that you have to do or like things you try to do?
Always have earplugs.
Yeah.
And I don't understand how you.
No, I've got them now.
Okay.
I tied them to my keys, so they're always with me now.
Really good, so you'll never forget.
Yes.
Although reusing earplugs is kind of gross too.
But yeah, but I got those fancy loop ones, and they're awesome.
They work good.
They're great.
That's good.
Yeah.
I should try those.
Yeah, you really should.
That's definitely essential. Yeah, staying right outside the pit. I think for me is like the vibe. Uh-huh. You're not going to find me at Roseland up on the balcony. I'm not doing that. Mm-mm. I'm just not. Yeah.
Stay hydrated.
Stay hydrated.
Yeah.
Whether that's beer's mostly water. We're good.
It's mostly water. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. No general rules I didn't think of. That's a good question, though. I'm sure I have like these like kind of things I do that I don't realize.
Yeah, I think. I mean, especially this year, you and I have been going to a lot of shows, and so I've been thinking about this. Like, we kind of have our traditions and our rituals.
Yep.
We don't always stick with those, but like before Carcass, we hit 3 different breweries. Right?
Yeah, I like that. Using that as a night to like have a good time. It's exploring the city or seeing something different or whatever.
Yeah, we go to new places and we catch up.
Yep.
That's the one thing about going to a show when we don't do that is like we don't get to hang out really.
No.
You know?
Yeah, that's true. It's not a social event.
Yeah. Usually skip the opener unless it's somebody you really want to see.
No, that's too bad because I've been exposed over the years. I've been exposed to some cool bands.
Sometimes, yeah,
but mostly not.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it just I don't know. It depends. Yeah,
and I've actually dipped out lately. I'm getting older or something. But if like I'm not feeling the vibe anymore, I'm getting extra tired. It's midnight or something. I will leave even before the encore or something.
Yeah, I saw you. I
did that at Godflesh. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw you leave at Godflesh. Candlemass.
You watching me, bro? Or
well, yeah, I gotta keep an eye out on you. You know,
pay attention to the show, asshole.
You're hard to miss, man.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, Candlemass, that is too. Damn. I just wasn't feeling that for some reason. I didn't recognize a lot of the songs, and I was just like,
I didn't either. I've done it more lately, just because. Well, same reasons you're doing it, but like I'm also just. I get sick of being hot.
Yeah.
Get sick of standing.
Yeah. I stayed for the whole Martise show. That was great.
Yeah.
But he only did a 45-minute set.
Yeah.
So it was perfect.
I mean, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, I wish I would have seen that. Thanks for the shirt, by the way.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah. I got you the funniest shirt
it's great.
possible.
Yeah. I wore it on Friday. It's
you
great.
did? Good.
Yeah. But we're going to MDF next year. Again.
Yeah, we are. So excited, bro.
It's going to be great. So we're
going. We got the pre-show tickets too with Sodom,
Atheist,
Atheist.
Melkesh.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Amazing.
Somebody canceled, and then Morpheus Descends took their spot.
Nice. Well, that's cool. So that's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. That's 5 nights.
Is it 5? Is it 5? Yeah, I think so.
I think so because they went to Monday last time. We left Monday.
And we're going for the whole time, right?
Yeah.
We have tickets for the whole thing. Okay. Because last time we missed the pre-show.
We got pre-show tickets this time.
Right, but last time we missed it.
Yeah. I didn't know the situation.
I didn't either.
Yeah, now we're old hat. It's an old hat for us.
Yeah. It's like an old hat.
That's a weird phrase.
It is a weird phrase. But My Dying Bride.
Dude. Finally. So for a long time, Bolt Thrower and My Dying Bride were like my bucket list bands.
You've never seen My Dying Bride?
Never.
Yeah.
Still haven't seen them. And now is the time.
Now is the time.
And you're going to see them twice in like 4 months, 5 months, because you're going to see them at Prophecy, right?
Yeah.
Or they're playing the same night, before, after?
No, they're headlining the first night, and we're headlining the second night.
But you'll be there for that?
Yep.
Okay,
yeah,
good.
we get there on Thursday. They play Friday.
Okay, perfect.
We play Saturday, leave on Sunday.
Nice. Okay, cool. Well, report back, please, because I'm sure that's incredible. I actually really want to see Cradle of Filth, too. Never have seen them.
Are they
back in the day?
MDF?
No,
but
just one of those bands.
Yeah.
We could do a podcast on that. Bucket list bands.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. I saw them Milwaukee Metal Fest 90s.
Back in the day. Perfect timing. Yeah. It's a little late now, but still.
Yeah. But yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. I can't even really remember who else is playing. I think Dismember is scheduled again, aren't they?
Yep.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. Oh man, we'd have to look at the list.
Yeah,
it's extensive.
It's just a good time. Like I don't really doesn't even really matter. But it is all in one location now. They don't have the shuttle going to the parking lot.
That'll make it a lot better.
So the only outdoor venue is that one where Obituary.
Oh really? In the middle there?
Yeah. Everything else
up
is
on
inside.
the balcony. You met some weird dude up there. Remember?
I can't remember his name, but like. He just like stumbled across the festival.
He didn't know anything about it.
Yeah,
here we are.
And he watched Deeds of Flesh. Like that was his. That was our first date, right?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, this guy. I don't know who he was.
Yeah. Oh, what did he think?
He said he loved it, but
so there you go. Who knows? He might have been pretty drunk.
Deeds of Flesh is the perfect first date.
Who would have known?
Pungent Stench and Deeds of Flesh.
Amazing.
And there's that Mosher guy that got knocked out.
Yeah. Legend.
Yeah, that guy, man.
We were watching him for like 5 days.
Yeah.
Every day. Like, oh, there he is. What's he going to do today?
Yeah. The last day he
passed out.
Yeah.
Ambulance had to come. That was during Exhorter, I believe.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
That was so much fun.
Incredible.
That was a great trip.
Yeah, dude.
All right, man. Well,
all right, pleasure. That was awesome.
I think I think we talked about climate change. We talked about climate change within metal.
Yes, good.
And
I feel like there's a lot more to say about both those topics, but it's okay. We gave a little bit of.
I think so, but
freestyle spiel.
Yeah, a little bit to talk about there. So, yeah, thanks again for joining us. As of today, we started a I Hate Music playlist on Spotify. You'll be able to find a link to that in our link tree, which you can find on our Facebook page or our Instagram. Feel free to listen, and that will change every time we do a new episode with songs that are related to the podcast and songs that we play on the podcast.
Nice.
Please email us with hate mail or whatever else you want to send us. And
would it be because it's called I hate music, so it'd be love mail.
It'd be love mail
because it's actually hate mail because we do love music.
We do, yeah. So yeah, I know it's super confusing.
Send us some love mail.
Yeah. Send us some love mail.
Yeah.
And I've never once said this, but please rate us on
what are the things? Yeah,
well,
whatever subscription service you use.
Yeah, iTunes, Spotify.
It's almost we've listened to so many podcasts that we can almost rehearse it.
I know
because they all say
I know, and I've never done it before. But I was listening to something the other day, and they're like, "Rate us 5 stars." I'm like, "Oh shit, I've never said that before."
Rate us 5 stars, guys.
Yeah, or I don't want to tell you what to do. So just
4.5.
4.5. Yeah. I mean, this is episode 65. That's pretty
amazing.
Good.
Nice job, bro.
Pretty
Jesus.
good.
Wow. That's a lot of work on your part.
I took a lot of time off.
You're doing great. 65 is amazing.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Well, thank you. Thanks again, Nick Wusz. I'll see you next time.
My pleasure.
And we have no idea what we're going to do for the next one, but we'll figure it out.
Yep, we will.
If you have any ideas, please email them to me. Don't put it in a comment on Instagram or Facebook. Email, please. I had one guy, he sent me a voice memo.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was actually really sweet.
Yeah.
And it's this guy I kind of know. I've talked to him a couple times, but he sent me a voice memo through Instagram about how much he loved the episode and how
nice.
You were super funny.
Oh, awesome.
And he was in laughter the whole time listening. It was really sweet.
Nice. Cool.
But those type of things I'm not going to take a note of and do anything about. So email, please.
Nice.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
An Earth in Sound production.